Hey there, it's Sally, and we are going to be looking today at mobilizing in the rear foot. So the rear foot is the back part of the foot here. So we've got the heel as it comes up in line with the shin. We've got a bone here called navicular, cuboid on this side, and then the talus sitting in the middle. I can recommend that you start off with a little bit of foot release. So with your ball, just doing a little bit of a roll under the foot. So we're going from the toes to the heel, toes to heel, and then resting it just behind the heel here and doing like a shimmy motion in the tissue. So really feeling like you're picking the tissue up and gliding it on the layers below. You can then come into just a little bit of springing action here with the ball underneath your fat pad, just absorbing in and pumping water into the system. Now we're looking at the rear foot moving in 3 positions. So the first position we're going to look at is a side to side motion. So that's a rocking motion from right to left. So again, I'm going to come into kneeling here. You can do this sitting on a seat and leaning down through the foot. I'm actually going to wedge the front of my foot up here with my anatomy of motion wedges. So that's just going to go under my front toe. I'm then going to lean down through the shin and rock the shin inwards and outwards. So what I should feel on the underside of my heel is left and right, left and right. So again, coming in here, you can even block the front of your foot if you want to as well, but you're moving the shin essentially, because the shin just tracks down and into that ankle bone there, which is called the talus. So you're just going to roll it backwards and forwards. I've got something here under my foot to just block it, and then that will allow a little bit more movement to go. If you don't have these wedges, then you could always put a small face cloth underneath to block up the first one. We're then going to look at rotation. So again in this kneeling position, and again leading from the shin, I'm going to rotate the shin in, rotate the shin out. And the shin leads down into the talus, talus rotates in and encourages a drop and opening towards navicular. And then as we come the other way, it rotates out and brings the cuboid with us. Again, I like to do this with support under the forefoot. You don't have to. You'll notice it has a different feeling. Backwards and forwards. Just make sure the shin remains stacked upright. And you can probably see here that it's my hips that are rotating in and out. The third direction, forwards and back, is our sagittal plane. So I'm going to now put the wedge, I'll take my smaller wedge here, and just pop it underneath my heel. Now putting that wedge there automatically tips the heel bone forwards. So the calcaneum has come into what's called plantar flexion. I'm then going to track the shin up so it goes forwards over the second toe. Now this blocks the front of the foot from doing too much motion, so we isolate into the rear foot. So I'm going to just come in and back out again. So the heel tilts forwards as I bring my weight in, and I'm tracking the shin forwards. So my shin alignment stays forwards and actually over the second toe. So we're looking at just a forwards and backwards mobilizer here in the ankle joint. We are not coming forwards and into pronation. To look at rear foot, we're going to come into dorsiflexion, so when the heel comes up like that, and I'm going to do it with a rise. Now I'm going to pistol grip my heel like that, and then as I rise up, I'm going to just traction the heel downwards. So I'm going to traction the heel down as I come up into a rise position. So that's here. Again, this can be done in standing. It's a little bit more awkward. I prefer to do it myself in a kneeling position. But it's a lovely way to mobilize the back of the heel so you can get up nice and high in your demi-point. So as revision, we had a bit of a tissue release. We then looked at a side-to-side rocking motion through the heel. You really want to feel the sides of the heel moving here. We then looked at rotation. So the whole heel bone rotates in and out. And we then looked at a forwards and backwards motion there in the rear foot. Then you want to come up and think, right, how does that feel in my bend or my plie? And again, that feels quite nice and mobile. So that's your rear foot mobility drill. Enjoy.